So how I said the whole there's no one share so far.
Alpha, can you guys see the screen? Please join the YouTube. See if you can. Is it showing?
Good evening, sir. Sir, you are muted.
Star, I'll make it the host now.
I should just have my slide up, right?
You can share your
Yes,
screen.
very soon, sir, you will.
No, I mean, I should have the slide up. I'm not saying.
Yes, share your screen.
All right. I've sent requests. Someone should allow me. Someone else is sharing. Okay. I hope I'm not live. Am I live? Hello?
Yes, I'm live, sir.
Oh. So can I share my screen now?
Yes.
The host need to allow me. Oriade, you need to allow me, or Shotun.
I think Shotun can do that. Mr. Shotun, you can do that, right?
Is my back view okay? Are we okay? Should I remove this?
It's okay. No. It actually makes it look nice.
Okay. Host, please allow me to share my screen.
I'll do it myself.
Okay.
I'm not the host.
Allow multiple presenter, multiple.
All right, sir. You send the request, sir?
I've sent.
Okay. I know this. He has not videos, but.
Who is our host? Who is our host?
Shotun is still the host.
Shotun, can you share
your
screen? Look, he's not giving me that. He's giving me the host isn't allow multiple presenters sharing for this meeting.
Another correction again. No problem. This is the first time meeting, right?
More you got.
All right.
Go upstairs, please. Even after go upstairs.
Hey, if that, how you doing? Oh yeah, 52 this year, abeg. 53, please. Yeah, we are.
Hello.
smoke one time.
All right. Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon, everyone. I want to believe you can hear me.
You too.
We welcome everyone to
There's an echo.
the U-INSPIIRE training this evening. And this is the second training we'll be having on leadership. I want to believe you can hear me.
Yes, sir, we can hear you.
All right, thank you so much. So straight away, without wasting time, we are going to start the training. But just before we commence the training, I would like to welcome specially all our students from the University of Ilorin, those of you who are here with us on the Zoom and those who are viewing from the YouTube channel, you are all welcome. Straight away, I would like to introduce our facilitator for this evening, who will be taking you through on leadership, emotional intelligence and leadership. His name is Engineer Oluwole Raphael Farombi, and I'm going to quickly read his profile to everyone now. So I want to implore you to please listen attentively and ensure that there is no distraction. Engineer Oluwole Raphael Farombi is the Chief Executive Officer and Managing Director of McGeorge. Is an ISO certified multidisciplinary company with competencies in engineering, ICT, agribusiness, procurement, construction, clean and renewable energy, and human capacity development, or you call it training. His company's vision is to provide cutting-edge and cost-effective products and services designed for small to medium-sized companies willing to optimize performance using enterprise resource planning. Our products and services are applicable to the manufacturing, health, energy, education, sports, and agricultural sectors. Amongst the solutions founded by his company is Asmat Farm. He is an experienced project and consulting engineer with requisite expertise in engineering, procurement, management involving information and communication technologies, renewable energy technologies, project planning, implementation.
Recording in progress.
Implementation and consulting, with over 15 years proven records in designing, implementing, supporting, and managing diverse clients and projects spanning national and international organizations as a team member and leader. He graduated over 20 years ago with Bachelor's of Engineering in Mechanical Engineering from the University of Ilorin, holds a master's degree in Business Administration and Master of Arts in Peace and Development Studies from University of Ilorin. Engineer Wole is a registered engineer with the Council of the Regulation of Engineering in Nigeria, and that's COREN, a corporate member of Nigerian Society of Engineers, and also an associate member of Chartered Institute of Arbitrators, ACI-ARB. He is a fellow and certified member of the Institute of Management consultant. He's a member of the Association of Consulting Engineers of Nigeria. Join me as I welcome to the platform Engineer Oluwole Raphael Farombi. Sir, you are welcome.
Yeah, thank you, moderator. Yeah, fellow learners, I welcome all of you to this session. The moderator, I would like you to mute any other person that is not to talk. Mute them.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Like I said, this is a session for this is the second session we're going to be having on leadership, which talks more or delve into emotional intelligence, and is an attribute that leaders are to have. So I want to welcome you, learners, to this platform today once again. This is coming to you courtesy of the University of Ilorin, a alma mater, better by far, and it's a time for you guys to learn, relearn, and unlearn. This is leadership. This leadership is an attribute that you and I need to possess to take the center stage in this century. As you guys are preparing to graduate, it is a must for you to see yourself leading in one area or the other. When you say leadership, doesn't necessarily mean that you should be the overall, the president, the governor. No, leadership comes in, several facets, and it is beacon upon you to provide leadership at every situation you find yourself. For all of you, this session will be an interactive one. It will be a time for us to interact. It will be a time for us to learn one or two things and see how we can better respond to roles that we have in leadership. Like I said, it will afford you and I the opportunity to delve into some of the things that we have encountered in life. We find ourselves in leadership position. How did we manage it? How did we handle it? And how did we rig out? So please, for the few minutes, I will want you to be very, very attentive. It promised to be interactive. Can you all hear me? Can you all hear me?
Yes, sir.
All right.
Yes, sir.
Please, it will be interactive. For those that keeps unmuting themselves, we need you to mute. The rule is for you to raise up using what do you call it, emoji or whatever signs for you to comment. So kindly mute yourselves. That's what we're saying. Mute yourself. For the purpose of this session, we would like you to take on some information. It is compulsory for you guys to attend this session. Attendance will be shared for those that are attending this session. This attendance forms part of your completion period or completion access to the class. Be very sure that if you do not meet the minimum requirement for attendances, you might not be able to be recorded or attempt to have finished this course. Can we all see my screen like I said? Our topic is on emotional intelligence and leadership. And I'll delve deep to talk about what leadership is and its relationship with self-awareness. Self-awareness. Now, permit me to also recall that in the last session that we had some few slides to complete with you, which is how you understand leadership and self-awareness. And the objective of that is just to let you know that, see, your understanding of leadership matters because leadership has styles, right? You also need to know as a person that you know yourself, which is a self-awareness. You need to clarify your personal values. What values do you carry, right? As a person, do you carry any value? What kind of a person are you to foster leadership, right? So the training also, this session will also afford us to understand some bit of what leadership entails, emphasizing more on integration of knowledge, reflecting on your self-reflection, and practical application of leadership. Now, you will see that I mentioned what leadership is all about because leadership has styles, right? It was mentioned in the last class or the last session, but it was not really delved more into. So the last class will have us to complete this, which is about leadership style. There are different leadership styles. One is the popular one, which is a transformational leadership. We all know Nelson Mandela. Please, if you know Nelson Mandela, please give me a thumbs up or raise up your hand in the group if you know Nelson Mandela. Who is Nelson Mandela to us? We know that Nelson Mandela demonstrated leadership more as a transforming one during the apartheid in South Africa. Right. He laid down what is himself as a representative of all to drive in what? Inspiration to others, to motivate others, right? Towards change. Change. The South African sovereignty wanted a change by taking up a leadership role and requested for an end to apartheid. And you could see how Nelson Mandela laid down his life. He was jailed, imprisoned for that purpose. At the end, freedom came to South Africa. So who are you? Are you such a leader that can lay down yourself to ensure that others gain freedom? And in the end, the entire society is being freed. The second type of leadership that you might have come across, the name of a person of Mother Teresa. Mother Teresa is a renowned philanthropy. She's a renowned personality that provides for the poor. She will always want the poor to be taken care of first before herself. She dedicated herself to a selfless worth. She does not want anybody to cry before her. She died in 1997. Mother Teresa lived long as a matriarch that any one of us can actually look up to. Who is she? She's a servant leader. She exhibited servant leadership role. That let the people behind me be pleased. She prioritizes their needs over us. Mother Teresa. Second example, which most of you might have seen. Of course, I want you to, is interactive, like I said. If you know this person, can you possibly, type the name, enter the name in the chat box. In the chat box, if you know the name of this person on the display, can you enter his or her name in the chat box? Do you know the name of this person? Can you enter the name of the person in the chat box? All right, I can see Steve Jobs, right? Who is Steve Jobs to us? Right, the founder of Apple. We all use Apple products. We all use this. So this is an autocratic leader in display. His goal is to drive change by doing what? Centralizing decision-making authority. How? Please, the word autocratic in this context does not mean a negative poise. It doesn't mean something that is bad. What is it saying? Decisions as regard Apple is being made centrally. But such decisions are known to be what? Autocratic in nature. You all know about Steve Jobs. You can read about him. And he exhibited this leadership role so that he can do what? He can, attain prominence in the market where he's playing, right? He's playing well in the mobile market or market space, and he's driving the world all globally, centrally. Apple is unique for his product. Apple is unique for whatever they offer and they give, and nobody comes to mimic that or try to imitate that. And that's the niche they've carved for themselves. The second type of leadership we want, the fourth type of leadership we want to talk about is the laissez-faire leadership, which is what? It offers minimal supervision. It doesn't supervise, doesn't have to worry about you, right? The kind of leadership does not need to make himself known. It gives the team their autonomy. It gives you the room to decide for yourself. And we know about Warren Buffett, right? So Warren Buffett adopted this leadership style in his enterprise. We have the democratic one, which you all know about. Democratic kind of leadership entails everybody to come together to participate in decision making. Political democratic leadership is popular to us. The non-political one is popular to us. In business organization, Google exhibited this culture, right? And as such, students, employees of Google are to do what? To collaborate and bring to the fore and participate in decision making. That's what they do. For the first session we had on leadership, we wanted to take on this activity, right? This activity, can you screenshot these activities and report to us via the email that will be sent to the group? An email will be sent to group, which is training@marktechie.com. Moderator, can you drop that email on the group? Drop it also on the YouTube. You are required to do what? To identify and discuss about leadership styles exhibited by a leader you admire. You are required to do what? To discuss, identify a leader, right? It's supposed to be interactive. And that's why you see me identify a leader, discuss about the leadership style exhibited by a leader that you admire. You admire. Analyze the effectiveness of his or her style, and submit to training@marktechie.com. Use your working email, right? I don't think you'll see it, yeah? Can we all see this? Can we see this mail? Okay, let me use this. All right. Training@marktechie.com. Identify, like I said, a leader that you admire. Discuss about the leader. Include, when you're submitting, include your matric number. Include your email, your department, your level, your course. Include all this. Make it just a page. Submit on a page. Send to training@marktechie.com. Send to that. Identify and discuss amongst these leaders. Right. Thank you. Yeah, that brings us to the end of the last session. And we'll dive into the next session, which is talking about emotional intelligence, and leadership, and self-awareness. Emotional intelligence, emotional intelligence, and self-awareness as it relates to leadership. Right. What do we know about emotional intelligence? What do we know about self-awareness? What can you relate with? Right? What can you relate with when it comes to, emotional intelligence? Right. Emotional intelligence, self-awareness starting with, is the ability to recognize and understand your thoughts, your emotions, your behavior, and how these impact on yourself and how these affect others. It involves your conscious, awareness of your strength, your weakness, right? And to know what your values and what drives you, what your motivation is. It involves you understanding yourself. Now, emotional intelligence in this case is to understand how others feel. Understanding by putting yourself in their shoes. Understand the way they feel when you react, when you interact, when you relate. How do you, can you picture, or have you ever been in a position to say that when you take a step, you can actually think about how A, B, C.
Just this room. It's showing blue screen.
Recording in progress.
How they feel, right? Or is there any room to communicate by either a subordinate or team members or colleagues to let you know that, oh, this is how I feel. Have you provided a room, a feedback system to allow them to bring to the fore how they feel, their feelings? You could say I stress this because understanding emotional intelligence will actually make you, you and I make the world a better place to live, right? Now I go to self-awareness, which I've talked about. You need to be very aware of yourself as a leader. You need to demonstrate emotional intelligence. That's self-awareness. You need to understand your personal value. You need to also understand what is meant by what? Cognition. Your cognitive style, your cognitive ability must understand individual thinking, how you're going to attack or address or solve problems. You also need to be very, very understanding when it comes to a problem-solving approach. You know, there are some problem-solving approaches that will also be negative. Some could be negative. We have to be very, very aware of this, right? I come to personal value, which is one of the attributes I've mentioned here, right? For you to be self-aware, or for a leader to demonstrate self-awareness, you must understand the following components: emotional intelligence, otherwise known as EI, personal values, cognitive styles. We also need to understand that understanding our personal values means a lot to us. It is identifying and understanding what your belief systems are, what the principles that guides your actions, your decisions, your interaction with others. Personal value, right, provide us a compass, helps us to prioritize what is truly important in our life, right? It also helps us to align your choices with your authentic self. You know, we have our authentic self, right? And your personal values stem out of what you believe, stem out of your principles. Are you someone that believes that the world should be a better place? Are you someone that believes that everybody must be carried along? Are you someone that believes that you and I need to provide our quota? I need to contribute our quota to make our world a better place. Now, I want you to take this activity. I want you to listen to this. Can you yourself, as we go along, can you drop this in the chat box? What are your core values? Reflect on yourself and how these will influence your personal leadership potential. Can you mention one or two of your core values? It's an activity I want you to respond to. Whether or not you are joining via YouTube or you are joining via Zoom, drop here your core values. Honesty, I can see. So Ebenezer, honesty, transparency, integrity. Right. Integrity. Right. Listening, respect, tolerance, wonderful. Fairness, discipline. Right. Equality, accountability. Wonderful. Right. Honor, discipline, integrity, patience. Right. Diligence. Right. Responsibility, selflessness. Right. I could see that. Oluwasegun, openness, humility, hard work, integrity, and discipline. Understanding and patience. Yeah, we've all listed so many. I've never seen someone that will tell me that his or her core value would be to be a destroyer, would be to be someone that will pull down the whole world, or that will be a distrusted person, or that will be a demotivator. Right. Respect. All right. So we've all listed this, and please let us know that we're not just in this session to mark our time or to just keep our space or just be intrinsic about the whole program. It is to remind us of those things we've learned before, those things we have read, those things we have learned, and how it interplays when it comes to leadership. All right. For this session, I would like you to reference some books at your time that talks about leadership. Read about the 8 leadership style. Read about the self-awareness activities for emotional intelligence and growth. I've dropped the link. thomasnet.com, betterhub.com, leads.osu.edu. Personal exploration, leadership and community engagement. Right. We all demonstrate leadership when we have a style of leadership we see that adds value to ourselves, to the society, and to you. We'll also demonstrate leadership by understanding ourselves. Be self-aware, right? Know yourself, and so that you can treat, others with more intelligence when you are dealing with people, right? Because what you like might not be what I like, but we strike a balance by coming to the middle, right? Personal exploration also matters, right? How are you impacting your community? Are you really known in your community as someone who could actually contribute his or her own quota to make our environment, our place of work, a better place, right? Your community in this case does not mean your hometown. Please note this. Your community in this case does not mean your hometown. It could be your workplace. Note this. It could be your community in this case does not mean your hometown. How impacting are you? You get it? So please What exactly did they ask to submit? Oh, your guys will, I recall that it is an activity that you are to identify and discuss the leadership styles exhibited by any of the leaders that you admire. Analyze their effectiveness, right? Because they are either a man or a woman, right? And submit to what? training@marktechie.com. 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 I
What's the
paste
topic again?
in the group.
Emotional intelligence and what?
So the moderator, you can assist me with that, right? So
All right, sir.
yeah, so I will delve deep into this session by introducing us to emotional intelligence and its core components. Emotional intelligence and its core component. Remember, we talked about the 3 components. Now we are delving more into emotional intelligence as a core component that you need to recognize. You need to,
I want to
pay more attention to. It's a capacity that we need to recognize as an individual. We need to understand and know how to manage our emotions at workplace, in the class, of the class. Now you are going into, I want to call it the work world. You are going into the business world, right? You are going into job space. You are going to exhibit all you have learned in the school, in the university, as this case is, for the last 4 years, right? And it will be very, very good for you to understand who you are and to recognize the influence your emotions will have on others. Because if you develop a very effective AI, right, it will make you position you as a better leader. It will also engender your personal development because this will tell you how developed you are. When you develop an emotional intelligence, positive emotional intelligence, see, everything will come to you with ease because you'll be seen as a respected person in this training. We're going to focus on 4 components, which is what? Self-awareness, self-recognition, regulation, motivation, and empathy. The 4 components that we're going to discuss under emotional intelligence is what? Self-awareness, self-regulation, motivation, and empathy. As you can see, self-awareness is just like you standing in front of a mirror and see the way you are, right? The ability to understand someone, or one's emotion. Look at yourself, the way you are. What's your strength? You know, except we don't want to tell ourselves the truth. You know how you are. You know how you stand. You know your position. You know your view. You know your stance. You know your beliefs. You know what drives you, right? So please, as a student in this class, I want you to sit down, right? Do a daily journal, daily record of your emotions. What triggers you? What angers you? And how do you respond to some of these things? When someone, does something, or when you do something, how do you impact on others? How does it impact on you? Can you do a self-awareness audit, as I will call it? Self-awareness audit, right? And there's something we call the Johari window exercise, right? You are required to share this feedback. Drop it on the group. Drop it on the group, on your group, your Instagram group. Your Telegram group. Drop it there. If you can send it to us as a mail, send it to marktechie, training@marktechie.com. We want to discuss that. We want to get your feedback by constantly interfacing with you, right? share your feedback within your peers, uncover the blind spots, right, amongst them, and the way they self-perceive you, right? How do people look at you? How do people see you? Can you ask about yourself, right, from others? That's what I mean. That's a summary. Ask about yourself. And if you can share it, or you want us to work on it together, communicate it. I also want to let you know that you are joining this session, or you are taking this training, not because you want to fulfill your righteousness. It is to transform you. It is to make you a better person. It is to make you learn, unlearn, and relearn. It is to make you a leader. And because we are all leaders, we aspire to be leaders in the future, in our workspace, at home, in our community, in our society. And that's why you see that what we are having is to actually speak to us, not because we just want to fulfill our righteousness. And see, the role of self-awareness in personal growth and effective decision-making is a very crucial one. It is something that is worth discussing. If you know yourself, you will know how or what you need to do to grow personally. For instance, I'm a graduate of engineering. I do not know how to use, or let me say I'm a graduate of mechanical engineering, not just engineering, mechanical engineering. There are some basic things that I should know about because I studied mechanical engineering. For instance, if I don't know anything about designs, or I don't know anything about what is the popular thing in mechanical, one university thing in mechanical that we all know. I don't know about designs. I don't know about production. I don't know about automobiles. I don't know about mechanical properties. And I observe that that's a growth. That's a gap for me. How do I grow to know more about it? How do I ask myself whether or not I know about the studies of materials? I know about thermodynamics. I know about what will I call it, corrosion, and name it. I know we all have our different cores. We all have our different areas of focus in studies. But as a mechanical engineer, there are some basic things that behoves on us to know. And if you don't know this, you will be self-aware that, oh, I am lacking in this area. And I want to make a decision, take a step to act on it and do what? And progress. So that's what self-awareness will tell us. Also, in this study, we would like to let you know that there are objectives and focus that we want you to benefit from in this discussion, in this session. We want you to understand how emotional intelligence affects your professional life going forward, because you are going into the market as either an employer of labor or an employee. You also need to want you to know that you can develop self-awareness to accurately assess your emotions and impact. I've said this over and over. Cultivate self-regulation strategies. There's a way we need to regulate or coordinate ourselves, right? There's a way. There's also a way to foster intrinsic motivation and also extrinsic motivation system. Talking about motivation, which I'm going to delve into. You also want to know whether you can exhibit or display empathy, right? Empathy to build a stronger interpersonal relationship amongst peers, among your work peers or your friends or your associates. We also want you to know that after this study, we can all apply emotional intelligence skills in our different scenario. I've talked about self-awareness, and I'll give you a typical example in the workspace. The CEO of Google, Sundar Pichai, is the CEO of Google, is an Indian man. He's known for his humility and self-awareness. his leadership style or his leadership drive, right, emphasizing understanding his own strength and the areas of improvement, then let others know that this can be an open culture, right? He demonstrated that by telling everybody that this is what I can do, this is who I am, and I'm continuously what? Learning. I'm continuously learning. Do you get it? We won't want to task you with this assignment for now. We just want you to know that for every class, we're going to be having assignments. The assignment for every class will be emphasized. The first class, the assignment is what we have just dropped. Please endeavor to share it on your group. Endeavor to communicate to others who possibly have not or could not join or joined last week but could not join today. And like I said before I started this session, attendance is key. There is a certain number of attendance that you must meet up with to be qualified and certificated. Ensure that you communicate this to others. Ensure that you communicate this to others. I'm still going to drop another assignment for today's class. Remember, what we're having today is to complete the session for the last class and also to wrap the session for the second class today. And that's what we are on. And for those that are joining us, we are talking about the case study of Sundar Pichai, who is the CEO, Chief Executive Officer of Google. And now he's using self-awareness to carry along his employees. The next component we want to discuss about is self-regulation. How do we self-regulate? How do we self-regulate? It's an ability. It is a skill and an attribute that we want to redirect disruptive emotion and impulses and adapt to what? Changing circumstances. What does that mean? How do you self-regulate? You reframe your behavior. You retract and restore. You maintain control. You recognize so many things that do not sit well with you. But then you need to apply this to many of the ways and the way you deal with it, because if you do not, it's a way of responding to stress. Let me just tell you that. It's a way of responding to stress. And you need to do what? You need to be mindful of so many things. What are those activities you can engage in? Introduce to yourself techniques that will make you pause and reflect before reacting. For instance, you have an employee who came to you and possibly did something or do something that offends you. Your normal reactive response will be for you to do what? To react and to fly. But because you are a leader, it will behove in you to do what? Pause, reflect on this, look at the consequences vis-a-vis emotional intelligence. The fact that you do not respond reactively or spontaneously does not mean you are a fool or that you are stupid. But as leaders, an employee spread or pick up rumors that could pull down the organization. Your pausing or your ability to pause and reflect before reacting requires that you find out the root cause. Find out who possibly is coming up with that. There will be a source. There will be a root cause, a cause. Now, address it systematically. And, of course, you'll be respected enough. But if, as it happens, you were just spontaneous, probably you saw the stab and you throw a dirty slap at him or her, it will lead to something else. For instance, I'll give you an instance, a very sad one. I don't know whether you heard of it in town. A man was driving on the road. There was fuel scarcity, right? I think so. A man was driving on the road, and an Okada man probably ran into him. I mean, he hit his car. He was pained. He went to buy fuel. He couldn't get the fuel, right? He was pained that the Okada man hit him. As the guy came down from the car, what did he do? He gave him a dirty slap, right? He couldn't even allow him to talk as he wanted to beg. But lo and behold, it was unfortunate. The Okada man died in the process. Remember, self-regulate. The car that will have been hit will cause him pain and stress, possibly injure him. But because he could not even wait to possibly pause and see before reacting, he landed himself where? In prison. The law does not know whether or not, oh, the man hit you, the man did this, and you give him a punch or a slap, and he died. What the law knows is the last action that happened that made a person give up the ghost. Right. It's so pathetic. Right. Now, be mindful to self-meditate. Right. You control yourself in several scenarios. You do a role play, right? And engage yourself to see that, oh, when this happens, how should I react? You can rehearse this on your own so that when the situation comes on you, you can always know that, oh, you need to self-regulate. Because if you don't practice this or put this to practice, you will spontaneously react, right? And it could lead to something else. So our prayers will just be that we don't get ourselves muddled up or involved in something. As leaders in an organization, a staff does something, maybe a woman or something, and you get to heal the person, and the person possibly develop an health issue. It could be something we cannot control. And you just need to learn to self-regulate. Also, like I said, self-regulation is about stress management, right? It has impact on stress management, your academic or professional performance. And in the case study of FedEx, we all know, does what? Courier services, logistics management, and the likes, mails, and what have you. And see, they implemented what we call emotional intelligence training to train all their staffs and their new managers. And they discovered that this resulted into what? A very significant improvement in their leadership and self-regulation effectiveness. Because at that time, it was a problem. And this case study will tell us that, see, you need to develop a personal strategy for managing stress or managing issues or anxiety, especially for most of us during exam period, during projects. You might be faced with delivering project deadlines, and you have your leaders. I mean, you have your employees, your subordinates, your team members. I mean, not responding to things. You might be tempted to outburst. Yeah, it's valid. It's normal. We are all human. I won't tell you that I don't do it, but when we're doing it, we should self-control. We should self-regulate in a way that it will not lead to bigger problems or land us to issues. Right. The next point I want to discuss is motivation. What is motivation? Motivation, it's an attribute that we put on to drive ourselves towards performance, towards productivity, towards becoming a leader. Now, as a leader, you need to motivate yourself in so many ways. So in doing this, you could motivate yourself positively, negatively, intrinsically, or extrinsically. So it's an inner drive that prompts individuals to do what? To pursue a goal with energy and persistence. With energy and persistence. That inner goal, that inner drive that prompts you to pursue goals, right? with the aim of winning something, gaining something, or achieving something. Right. Now, the activities we want to look at is when you're talking about goals, when you're talking about pursuing a dream, you want to be sure that you as students, you should set, or graduates now in this case, you should set smart goals. In anything you are doing, you must, for instance, as a student, you might say your goal is to buy a car and your dream is to buy a car before you finish, I mean, your 400 level or 500 level or 600 level, as the case may be. Right. You need to ask yourself, is this dream or goal specific? Right? Can I measure the impact? Is it achievable for me at this point in time? Is it relevant or realistic? Is it time bound? Right. You must define all this. And the same way, when you have positive goals, you must be specific about those positive goals. You must know that that goal also, can I measure the impact on me or on you? Can I achieve it, even though I've set it? Is it relevant to my career progression? Your goal could be to learn Python. Your goal could, you need to set a timeline also to achieve this. And once you cannot answer these 5, what do you call it? Goal setting principle, you might not, it might not be worth you going into it. But majority of us go into tasks, venture into so many things that we do not weigh the consequence. The way to monitor, weigh the consequences, or know whether or not it is okay or possible for us to venture into this is by what? By, conducting a smart analysis, as I would say it, smart analysis. And once we do that, we can map it within ourselves. Oh, can you do motivation mapping? Can I motivate myself to get this done? Can I identify the personal values that align with what I want to do academically, career-wise? Right. And that will take me to the types of motivation. I've discussed what motivation is. Motivation has 2 types. One is intrinsic motivation, and another is what? And extrinsic motivation. Intrinsic motivation stems or starts from you driving yourself internally. It's your desire and it's satisfying to you. Why? Because it's internal, it's an internal thing. Why extrinsic is something that is being drawn from outside. Somebody setting a goal for you, and you want to do it to please the person, for a reward, for instance, and to achieve some goals or attain some consequences in the other way. It could be reward. It could be what? It could be consequences. Right. We talked about Nelson Mandela. He's a transformative leader. His unwavering motivation for justice and equity exemplifies his motivation and drive, the monumental societal change. Mind you, Mandela got himself into prison. He was in prison for the better part of his life just to achieve this. But he did. He went joyfully, right? He came out and said he's still not regretting to have been imprisoned. He was almost at the point of death. He never gave up because he kept what? Motivating himself. He never dreamt of becoming the president of South Africa, but the entire society had to reward him for what he did, fighting for justice and equity. And what's the assignment that I will give you here for this session, for today's class? The assignment will be on motivational analysis. motivational analysis. And the moderator can take it down on the group. Identify an historical or contemporary figure in Nigeria, right? Who has motivated himself and has impacted Nigeria for several achievements. Identify, it could be a woman, it could be a man that you know of, a leader in Nigeria who has been selfless, who has actually achieved, is a figurative personality that has motivated himself and has impacted our society. Send this to training@marktechie.com. Just present it as a mail, as a Word document. Put your name and your details and submit. That's our second assignment for today. That's our second assignment for today's session. The last session was, the last class which I completed was the one I gave before. Right. The moderator can drop it on the group. You can see in this, this picture depicts what we call the extrinsic motivation and intrinsic motivation. You could see two guys in jerseys playing soccer or playing football, right? One of them, which is the extrinsic one, believes that he's playing soccer for recognition. You know, who will recognize him? Somebody from outside. Who will praise him? People from outside. And another, he's doing it that if he earns reward, he's doing it because he feels that he can earn reward and he can be recognized and praised. While intrinsic motivation feels that he's pursuing this task of playing soccer, one, genuinely to enjoy it himself, regardless of whether or not they will reward him or they recognize him. You know, we have people like that. And that's what stems from what? Professional soccer player and fitness soccer players. Some play soccer for fitness. Some will also play soccer as a profession, as a career, right? And to come into fame. So you can see my analogy here. The last point is empathy. Empathy. That's a number 4 component of what? Of emotional intelligence. Core component of emotional intelligence I want to address. Empathy. How do you show empathy? How do you show empathy? It's the ability to do what? To understand the feelings of others. That's empathy. You want to understand the feelings of others. You want someone else to lean on you, bear their shoulders, bear their burden. Right. And how do you do this? To show empathy, the first thing you must do is to listen. Listen. Have a listening ear. We discover, research has it that very few of us can actually listen. Very few people can listen to someone else's other side. We have seen instances where before the person even talk, you say, oh, I already know what you want to say. How do you want such a person to feel emotionally? Allow the person to land. Either or not, you have heard the story before, you have not seen the story, let the person land and diplomatically communicate whether or not you are in, you have heard, you have listened, you will do, you will not do. This is about emotional intelligence. As someone who will demonstrate a high level of hearing, you must show empathy. Empathy. Show empathy. You can actively practice this by listening, focusing on understanding the speaker's perspective without prejudgments, without being judgmental. Right. So for this, we'll let you know something about cultural sensitivity workshop, which you can actually do at your level, at your workspace, right? Explore diverse backgrounds to enhance empathy, empathetic interactions in a globalized society. just exploit and look at it. If every one of us can just listen, can take the pain, the patience to listen, would the world be a better place? Will our workplace be a better place? Will I be a better leader? Will I be seen as a leader? I encourage you that in everything we're doing, we show empathy. Empathy could come up at our workplace, among teams, if resolve conflicts. And the case study we want to look at is the Prime Minister of New Zealand. The Prime Minister of New Zealand demonstrated this at a point in time when there were shootings in the church and there were shootings in the mosque. He exhibited this by the way it was handled. Jacinda Ardern, that's her name. Oh, that's his name, right? That's his name. The Prime Minister of New Zealand, right? Empathy in action means, again, that in our society, in our community, have you for once volunteered for a community service? Have you seen someone who litter the environment and you look away? Have you seen someone who also demonstrated to, pour dirt in the drains and you look away? Have you seen someone that takes an action that will actually endanger every one of us or you yourself? What are your perspectives? I want to listen to you guys. Have any one of you volunteered to play a role in your society before? Have you volunteered? I know in your school, there are programs that you are encouraged to always volunteer. Have you done this before? I need your response in the group. How many of you have volunteered in anything before in your society? Have you done that before? If you have not, I encourage you to take one up. I encourage you to do this. Be a volunteer. Be a community person. Be someone that you can be relied upon. And like I said, the world will better be a better place. For this session, I want to recommend 2 books that we can look at. Like we said, the session, encourages us to meet and discuss, and also open our mind to what we can read about. Emotional Intelligence by Goleman. Emotional Intelligence by Bradbury. We can look at this. We can read this. And I'm also letting you know that we can develop emotional intelligence as an essential attribute. It will also lead to your personal growth and make you effective as what? A leader. A leader. You can only be entrusted to what will actually make you, if you don't show empathy, if you are not self-aware, if you do not self-regulate, if you don't motivate yourself, how will you motivate others? It will be very difficult. If you don't show empathy, how will your friends, your peers, people in your community, how will they see you as a go-to person? Right. All these are to be exhibited, improved upon, so that we can improve our interpersonal relationship and navigate several challenges that are complex in life, in our academic and our professional lives. Right. Engaging in those outlined activities and discussions that we have had today, the case studies, the styles of leaders that we looked at about, and the assignment that we gave you will actually provide practical experiences for you to do what? Apply AI principles. Thank you. Question and answers. We want to take question and answers from you over to the moderator. Every one of you that has questions, you can actually raise up your hand and the moderator will take you. Over to you.
All right, sir. Thank you so much, Engineer Farombi, for such a wonderful session we've had with you today. And I'm very sure that all students on the call have been greatly impacted. Yes, we want to quickly go through the question and answers now. So please, students, the floor is opened. kindly drop your questions inside the chat box. We'll pick them up from there. So please do. While that is going on, I want to quickly announce to you that we are going to be taking attendance shortly, and a link will be dropped, inside the chat box. And also for those who are joining us via the YouTube channel, the link for your attendance as well will be shared. Please ensure you fill the attendance before you exit the call. Very important. Your attendance is very important. We're expecting the questions now. We've learned very important study on leadership today, emotional intelligence and leadership. And Engineer Farombi has shared with us greatly, on self-awareness. He talked, he really emphasized on self-awareness. And very importantly as well, we've learned about, he made a quick review on leadership style, which is part of module 1, and then, shared with us different types of leadership styles. And we want you to ask your questions, please. Please ask, sir, please, can you help us display the second assignment? Okay, that will be done. The co-moderator will send the assignments. Questions from today's study. I want to believe you can hear me. Questions from today's study on leadership styles, questions on self-awareness in leadership, the need for you to clarify your personal values. Yes. All right. We have the first question now. On emotional intelligence, as a leader, how can you be firm and empathetic at the same time? The balance between empathy and firmness. So, sir, over to you. That's the first question we have for today.
All right. Thank you. Yeah, you can demonstrate firmness and empathy at the same time. Firmness involves you not compromising your principles, right? Not compromising your principles. You are focused on the goal. However, you are showing empathy. Empathy in the sense that, you want to listen to the cause. What actually happened in an organization? You would have said you will have your rules, you have your handbook, your policies and guidelines. For instance, someone comes late, right, to work. Someone comes late to work, and the person expected that you overlook it. What are you supposed to do as a leader? Listen to the person. There are rooms and channels. Listen. For coming late, for a reason or two, you need to listen. Or what caused, what prevented that employee from coming late? Is it that he had, there are several reasons that you need to look at. And that's being listening, showing empathy. But of course, if you find out that this particular employee actually came late for no reason, for no tenable reason, of course, the rules and guidelines or the what do you call it? The consequences of coming late can be served or meted at. And by so doing, you have not compromised your principle. Thank you. And let me also, I think that answers someone who is actually talking about empathy and sympathy. Empathy at the same time and sympathy, they are two different things. You are being personal, sentimental, right? It's different from you, ensuring that you listen to the person. It might look alike, right? When I'm showing empathy, I'm listening, I'm taking my time to analyze, to wait a bit before reacting. But when you're showing sympathy, sympathy is a different thing. You are sympathizing with the person that has probably been affected by something, and you're encouraging the person to get up, move up, and all sort of. So that's the difference. Ajayi here said, what can one do if the empathy state is slowing down the company progress, even with genuine excuses? What when you say empathy, there are rules that has been set, rules that should have been laid down. Of course, in an organization, you have your rules, you have your guidelines, you have your handbook, you have your policies. And those policies must be adhered to. So when a staff goes against any of these policy or your employee, the first thing you need to do is to measure the impact. Right. Is to measure the impact and see whether or not there's an infringement, whether or not the person has crossed the line. And of course, you'll apply justice. Having listened to the person. It will be fair, right? Because to be forewarned is to be forehand. Yeah. Thank you.
All right, sir. Thank you so much. We have some questions from the YouTube channel. And one of the questions asked is, what is the difference between empathy and sympathy? That's just one question. The second one, so that you can take them together for the sake of time, that how do you show empathy when the other party does not understand its effects or importance? Yes.
All right. Can I?
Yes, go ahead, sir.
Okay, for the first, I've differentiated between empathy and sympathy, where I said when you are sympathetic about an event that happened or something that happened, right? When you are personal about it, it's different from when you are showing empathy. Both involve listening. You are listening. You have listened, and you are showing probably concern to listen to the person. When you sympathize with somebody, you don't follow through to actually know whether or not it has consequences on both parties, you, the organization, or the person, or vice versa. But when you show empathy, empathy is to please, I mean, depending on the weight of what the person actually did, you must first listen. You don't need to throw out a punch first, right? Before you need to listen to the person. Don't be judgmental, right? And look at it, whether or not the principles or guidelines that you have said. Mind you, I said for you to show empathy, you must confirm whether or not there's a guideline set by the organization, by the company, or by you, right? That the person ought to, you must communicate it anyway. And that's why you cannot say that someone will, so if someone doesn't understand it, please, he or she doesn't understand because you have not taken time to explain to the person. So you need to explain. You need to show it. You need to show a proof. And that's why I said that you need to have warned the person for you to want to apply a rule, a justice, or whatever. Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much for doing justice to questions on empathy. We would like to take questions from other aspects. There are a lot of persons asking on empathy and sympathy. I know as you have answered, they would also find insights to it. There's a question on motivation from Onye Consola. Onye Consola would like to know that on motivation, what if nothing motivates you anymore? What can you do? Yeah, Onye Consola would like to know, how can you, get back your motivation? Thank you, sir.
Yeah, Onyeka, thank you for that question. Right. Once you get demotivated, obviously something is wrong. So you need to trace the root cause. Once you know the root cause, you need to possibly talk to someone whom you can see or look at. Share it out. You don't stomach it. You don't bottle it up. You need to share with someone who can actually show empathy and see it from your angle and actually possibly advise you on what to do. There are so many advices. Because, of course, if you get demotivated, there will be no inner drive. You will retrogress as a person. There won't be progress. You will not be productive. You will be weighed down. But you need to do what? Show empathy. You need to be shown empathy. You need to self-regulate yourself, because without motivation, intrinsic or extrinsic, you will not be driven. You can't achieve anything. Yeah. So please get to talk to someone, share with someone who can actually motivate you.
Wow. So more like finding someone who can encourage us. Yeah. Thank you so much. Now,
Professionally and otherwise.
Yes, there's a question on passion here from Olusegun. How do you lead a group that's not passionate about the goal, sir? Like when you have people who are not passionate about your goal or your vision as a leader, how do you, find your way around it and achieve your goals with them?
All right. So as a leader, if you find yourself amongst teams that they're not passionate about the goals, one, it means you have not taken time to communicate the goals. You have not taken time. Communicating it does not mean you sending a mail, sending a text, but it means you explore several means of communicating this goal. For instance, do you have something around you that could make it communicate it as a picture? As a picture. Have you had meetings? Have you interacted? Have you entrusted the vision to one or two of them who can as well step it down to others? So if you find yourself in a team that are not self-motivated, or they did not get what you are communicating, what you need to do is to first understand the root cause. By interviewing one or two of them, eliciting from them, you will know what the causes are. Thank you.
Thank you so much. I want to believe that Olusegun has been able to really got a very good response from that. Now, we have a question here from Mustafa Suliat. As a leader, what do you do when the team is divided? So I hope you get that question, sir.
All right, yeah. When the team is divided, right?
Yes, sir.
So, of course, most of the questions you're asking, you trace it back to some management principles or management approach to solving them. First, if a team is divided, if you have, for once, taken your time to carry out a root cause analysis of what has caused it, what has caused the division, there must be a reason. It's in a normal state, and it now comes to deteriorate relationship and whatever. Understand what the cause is. Once you understand what the cause is, you might now be able to put it in perspective. You are not understanding it because you want to reprimand one against another. You are doing it for the health of the organization. You are doing it to ensure progress, and you are doing it to be fair. So once you understand it, you will be able to put everybody in a perspective that will drive the organization and move forward. Of course, deterrence could occur. Persistent deterrent could come into play. But what you need to do is to understand, because, for instance, if people are fighting an organization and you feel that as a leader, the first thing you do or the next thing you do is to sack them, it's possible you might have taken the right decision, but showing empathy is allowing the process to be followed. You have understood what the root cause is in the process, because you also listen to what is causing the problem or who is erring amongst them. And from there, it gives you room to take the right decision. The right decision might be to sack both of them. The right decision might be to sack one of them. The right decision might be to bring them together and educate them to let them know that your role, our role, his role, all synergistic will amount to what makes the company. And you as an employee or you as a team member, the success of everyone is a synergy. No one single one will take the glory, but you can have it also on your either your resume, your achievements, that I'm part of a team that did so. Mind you, not one person can do it. Not one person. Nobody's an island. It requires a team. One for sustainability, for continuity, and for acceptability. You require a team to run. All right, thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. That's a very insightful one. There is one more question from Shade Jewali, and she would like to know, as a leader, how do you handle matters when people go behind you to make decisions and carry it out without your consent?
All right.
Yeah.
When someone goes behind you to make decisions, of course, I will speak to it in the context of an organization. Like, if in my company, a staff take decision, right? And the decision was taken, you need to understand something. He or she has taken a decision for the company. Now, there will be consequences for every decision taken. You also want to know whether the decision taken was done or taken in the best interest of the organization, right? There are some selfish personal decisions that people take, right? You also want to be wary of this so that you don't just address it in the wrong manner. Understand what the cause is, why he or she has taken the decision, and you can, like I keep saying,
Network that failed 2 times like this. To affect you too.
Recording
Okay.
in progress.
Thank you so much. For those who are having challenges with logging in, yes, the steps for you to log in would be communicated to you via the WhatsApp channel and of course on Telegram. Quite a number of persons have been able to onboard, to register. Now we understand that a few of you are having challenges. Now just be patient but ensure you follow through the instructions that has been posted on the WhatsApp platform and on the Telegram. So, but if you still have any challenges after you have followed the process listed out, please communicate us. But I want you to know that as the last time we checked, more than 500 persons have been able to onboard. So, and I could see even from the group, the number of persons saying they've been able to onboard. So there have been great improvements on people getting onboarded compared to before. So then take note as well that the attendance link is being resent. It's very important to mark your attendance before you exit the call. Very important. Thank you very much. Sir, is there any other thing you would still like to say? Engineer Faromi, sir. Now, for the assignments that has been sent or given, the first assignment is on leadership styles. You are to identify any leadership, any leader that has influenced you or that you are interested in, and then you are going to discuss what interests you, what influences you from that leader. So that one is the first assignment. And on the second assignment as well, if you have been following, that has to do with you identifying a leader in Nigeria pick any leader, be it a female, a male, and then you are gonna be discussing, on how self-awareness of that leader has impacted, the influence of that leader on Nigeria. So if you check back on the chat box, you are going to see the screenshots of that. So I know a number of persons are asking for screenshots of the questions. It has been sent. You can just scroll up. You'll see them. Remember, you are to identify and discuss leadership styles exhibited by leaders you admire. You are to do the analysis, the effectiveness of this or her style, and you are to submit to training@marktechie.com. Now, some persons are saying they have challenges. I mean, I think a person has tried logging into MarkTechie of submitting to that via his or her mail. That would be rectified and communicated back to you. So keep trying. We would definitely work on that, and you would be able to send your assignment seamlessly to that mail address. Is there any other question, please? You need clarification on anything, kindly let us know. While that is going on, before we call it a day, I would like to let you know that the next leadership class is going to be coming Thursday, and that's going to be on communication and public speaking. You don't want to miss that class. By 4 p.m., all leadership classes are going to are scheduled for 4 p.m. 4 p.m. every Thursday. So the next is coming Thursday. Please take note. The next leadership class is coming Thursday. That's 27th of March, and it's going to be on communication and public speaking. So ensure you attend.
It doesn't have
Thank you very much. So for those taking web development classes, your next training is on Saturday. Please ensure you participate.
Hello. Yeah, please, for the submission of assignments, ensure you submit by today is Thursday, but ensure you submit these assignments by Saturday, please. We don't want it on Sunday. Ensure you submit it within the next 2 days. Also, we want you to identify yourself if you demonstrate that you have leadership skills and you can actually mentor 1 or 2 persons in leadership. Signify your interest, right? by sending us a mail. We would like to engage with you further. Also, some of you are also asking about the Mac Techie. Please note that for now, we are engaging with you on Telegram and WhatsApp. Subsequently, after next week, our communication with you will be via mail. That's why we'll encourage you that you must all ensure that you're onboarded with the right email and phone numbers. With the right email and phone numbers. You can't be submitting exams on Telegram or submitting quizzes on Telegram. It has to come on the platform. Please note this. Right. Does any one of you has any other questions before I move it back to Riade? The attendance link is reachable. Can you collect it? The attendance has a deadline. It's not for eternity. Ensure you fill and submit your attendance now. After a few minutes or hours, the attendance will not be valid again. After a few hours, the attendance will not be taken again. We will deactivate the attendance. So ensure that you submit your attendance right away and inform others, please. Also, we have both the YouTube and the Zoom. As you can see, the number of participants on the Zoom is not more than 57. So we have plenty room. We can take 300 people. But we are giving room to both Zoom and non-Zoom to take thousands of us. Ensure that you join quickly on time and ensure that you always come to class on time. Thank you. Our time is fast spent. I'll hand over to the moderator so that we'll end the session. Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much, sir. We just have less than 10 minutes by our planned time. We have to end by 5:45. So we'll just quickly tidy up on attendance. Issue. The link has been resent. I think there's a link. So please, technical crew, could you please check, confirm for the attendance? As long as the meeting has not ended, I think they can still quickly fill the attendance. A number of persons are complaining that they've not been able to. Okay, so the link will be resent now. Please be patient, just a minute. The link will be resent now. You have to quickly fill it. Like it has been said, it's not forever. So you have to quickly fill it, and we'll be ending the meeting. Please take note, just in a moment, the attendance would be sent now. Just a moment, please. Check the chat box. The link will be sent and it's opened. You all can. Yeah. Okay. I sent the link now. I've sent the link. It's there. Quickly log in and fill your attendance. Yeah. Yes. Thank you. So thank you for joining once again. Once again, I take a recap of the announcement made. The next leadership class is going to be next week, Thursday by 4 p.m. and it's going to be on communication and public speaking. Like I said, you don't want to miss that. Then the second announcement is for those who are taking the training on web development. The next class for you is on Saturday. That's 22nd. Please ensure that you are prompt, and get your gadget ready as well, because it's going to be very interactive. So ensure you get your gadget ready by 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. on Saturday, 22nd. The class on web development we hold. And also, the class on graphic design is going to be tomorrow by 4 p.m. 4 p.m. Those taking the class, the training on graphic design, you are having class tomorrow by 4 p.m. So please ensure you are prompt. And I want to encourage you, this training is fully loaded. The goal is to empower you. The goal is to ensure that you are armed with all the tools, the kits you need to excel, even as a graduate. So please do not take this for granted. Thank you very much. I want to believe that you've been able to fill the attendance now. Yes. It's opened. I can open it. Some are saying it's not opened. Oh, I do not think that should be true. I've opened it and it's opened. Yeah. The attendance link is opened. So it's opened, please. Probably you should check your browser or something. It's opened. I've opened it on my system. I opened it on my phone and it's working. All right. So for the assignment submission is to submit it Saturday. On Saturday, this week, Saturday, 22nd, the assignment on leadership should be submitted. And like we said, is to be submitted to the mail address sent to you. Every challenge will be looked into the test tonight, and you'll be able to seamlessly send in your your assignment. Thank you for joining. Please encourage others, your colleagues, and like it has been said, Zoom is limited in number of persons that it can accommodate for training. So if you are finding difficult at any time to log into Zoom, probably we've exceeded the number of persons. You should join the YouTube. Thank you. All right, thank you. Do have a pleasant day. Ensure you do your assignment. Thank you, everyone, for joining. See you all tomorrow for those who are taking graphic design classes.
Are they still filling attendance? I can end the stream.